11 a.m. Here we are.
Sirens on the dot.
Folks. Are we ready?
We're rolling, man. It's on.
All right, welcome everybody to this week's Topspin Webcast. Jason's back from his honeymoon. Bob is not with us today. Parker's not with us. You're stuck with just me. We've got a few things to talk about, and then whatever you want to talk about. So if you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat room, and I'll answer everything we can. So Music Geek Services already dropped in the chat room the link to the first thing I wanted to talk to, which is Parker's blog post about the new streaming players. Wow. Hello, London. Hello, Brazil. Thank you guys for joining us. So, if you have that up on the screen there, Jason.
The new blog post?
Yep. So, Greg who has been working very diligently on updating the streaming players, gave a preview of what those fixed now?
Ask people if they can hear.
Can you hear me now?
Should be able to.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Sorry about the no audio there for a second, folks. So anyway, I'm not sure where you lost me, but the bottom line is we've been trying to upgrade these streaming players to have the full functionality of the previous streaming players, and we're getting really close, and also really liking the design on them. So we wanted to give you guys a preview of that and get any feedback that you had on that. So he's saying it's a little softer and in one speaker. Should we just?
I'm fixing it. It's good.
Okay.
Glitch solved.
Okay. Thank you. So anyway, that's the story with the basics on the streaming player. I guess one question is, why use our streaming players and not use a YouTube player or or some other player for your video or audio? And it's a good question. I mean, frankly, you're welcome to use other players. We use YouTube sometimes. We use Vimeo a lot ourselves. We use SoundCloud sometimes. But there are definitely times when you really want to use a streaming player that, in particular, has a big old button on it that links back to your website. For example, if you've got a video release and you're going to premiere the video release, similar to what we did with Interpol, for example. Interpol previews a video. They actually give away a download of the video, and you want all of that organic traffic. When that video is posted on StereoGum, you want the traffic to come from StereoGum to your website. If it goes from StereoGum to YouTube, you actually there's about 100 less, 100 times less of a chance that someone's actually going to click through and buy. Because what happens, it's pretty natural, right? You see something on StereoGum, you like it, you click on it to YouTube maybe. If you do, then you watch another video on YouTube, right? Whereas if you see a video on YouTube, you click through to, say, BeastieBoys.com, that video is the top of a page along with a bunch of offers to buy. Who knows? Oh, wow, look, I can actually pre-order this album. Maybe you like the video and you're interested in doing that. So that's really the primary reason for having our own streaming players, is to be able to control where the funnel moves from that point. So I hope you guys really like these new streaming player views or designs. It'll probably be a week from Monday that these are actually released into the application, and then from there we'll be updating them to include things like the full skinability. So they'll be able, you'll be able to fully skin these and move the controls around and change the fonts and change the colors and all that sort of stuff too. And these things are going to work on, they're going to work on iPad and iPhone, it's pretty great. Gilead asks, is there a video stream player private to Topspin, not public like YouTube? Only only Topspin users will be able to create the players, but they are fully embeddable, and anyone can place a player you've created anywhere on the web. So I hope that answers the question. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to say about the players. If you have any other questions or comments about the players, please feel free to leave them either in that blog post or on the forums in community.topspin.net. But super exciting. Really glad to see that those things have come along, and I hope you guys are going to be really, really happy with them. All right, the other thing I wanted to show, we talked about it last week, in the Spin Shop store, which is what you create with your store builder with Topspin. We're looking to have those be embeddable, and we have that in QA right now. So you're going to see it. You'll see some broken images because these images don't exist in QA. It's my Get Busy committee account, but you'll see what we need to show here, which is the grab code button. So if you can see that whole top image, like we described last week, you can just click and grab that code, or at the top of the page, you can click and grab the code for the entire page. So this is not exactly the final layout or design, but you see that we're really close to having this, and with any luck, that's actually going to launch. Audio's gone again. Just unplug it and just use the audio, onboard audio. That's what we've been.
Oh, plug it back in.
All right.
All right.
Chris Carlson, dude, what's wrong with you? Now you have to come do this webcast with me. All right, sorry guys. Hey, Parker Todd Brooks. All right, audio's fine. Apologize, everybody.
Fire that kid.
All right, so you get the idea with the embeds. Go back to it so they can see the screen of the copy and paste. All right, so you can see on this that you can when you grab an offer, you get an embed code, and you can take that, and that'll embed any of these elements. So one of the big offers, the entire page of offers, one of the smaller bits of offers. What we really want to be able to do is to take the content that's created in the Spin Shop and make it easy for you to place it anywhere you want to. So, we're trying to make it so you have a lot of flexibility in how and where you build your store, and that these are embeddable anywhere in the web. So if you think about the ways that we have right now, when you create an offer on Topspin, it creates an embed code. So you can take that and you can build your own custom page with the buy experience embedded there. You can also create a Spin Shop, which is our store builder. So you have the ability to build a standalone site, couple of clicks, and boom, you got a store. Now we're allowing you to take the specific items from those stores and peel them off and put them elsewhere if you want to. So instead of just having the little code, you might have the full thing, the full offer with the image and the buy button and anything else that comes with it, and you can drop that into your page somewhere where it fits. So we're just trying to give you a bunch of options as to how you can do it. The other cool thing is you give your consumers those options. So if I come and I like your product and I want to do a blog post about your product, I can really easily, just like in an Amazon kind of way, grab that product and put it on my website so I can promote you. So very cool, very powerful, and you can do some things to incentivize your fans around that too. There you go. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Could I have an offer as a line of text in the Topspin store without an image? No, everything now comes in these square boxes. So if you want to have an offer that's a line of text, you would need to actually grab that buy button out of the, when you create the buy button, grab that code, turn that code into, instead of a button, a line, and then you can put that somewhere where you need it to go. Will it work in Facebook? Yes, because it's an embed, you should be able to embed it in Facebook. I'm going to actually defer to Parker on that one in the chat room. If you could take that embed and embed it in Facebook the same way that you embed other things using that plugin trick. I actually don't know the answer for it. I assume you'll be able to, but I think I'll defer to Parker on that and let Parker answer that in the chat room. Also, a good question for the forums. If you want to ask that there, maybe we can all chime in together, giving that a try and figure out the way to do it. Gilead, in terms of listing individual MP3s, so I get what you want to do. You've got an album of 10 songs, and you want to create 10 buy buttons, one for each song, and list those out. You can do that. You would need to create those 10 different buy buttons, take those 10 different codes, and paste them in. Because we don't focus on selling 99-cent downloads, I'm pretty vocal about thinking that's not the right strategy. It's not something that we have focused on, but it's definitely technically possible. I hope that makes sense. Parker's going to give that a 99% likelihood. Cool. Well, when this launches on Monday, we'll all try it out. I would be great if one of y'all could fire up your could fire up a thread in the forums where you give that a shot, and we can talk about it and see how it works, and talk about some instances where we might want to do that too. Cool. All right, so another thing I wanted to talk about today is following up on the label pricing thread. People have been asking about bulk pricing. We just today released that bulk pricing that Bob spoke about last week. So you can today come along and buy a 10-pack of either Topspin Plus or Topspin Enterprise. Am I correct? Am I being factual, Jason?
That is correct, and I'll show you how to do it. If you go to your Topspin website and the sign up page, it's topspinmedia.com/signup. Down here you see a link that says if your company needs to manage several different Topspin accounts, label pricing lets you upgrade to 10 accounts at a reduced cost. Click here. And this page lets you actually purchase a package of 10 upgrade codes for Topspin Plus or Topspin Enterprise.
There you go. So it's actually if in Topspin Plus on an annual basis is $500, but here you can get 10 of them for $1,500. So it's definitely a great value if you're if you are say you're a web services company and you want to sort of OEM or resell Topspin Plus at you're effectively paying $150 instead of $500. So hopefully that creates a good margin for you, and you can run a successful business helping people with Topspin. That's definitely the goal for our pricing, whether you're a marketing services company or a label or anyone who needs a bulk of accounts. Our goal is to always our goal is to make enough money to keep doing what we do, and offer you guys a great piece of software and a great value for that software. Obviously, the software is not free. We're not an ad-supported model. We're not a build up our brand and sell it to Google model. We get paid for building software model, like a Pro Tools or a Photoshop or a Final Cut Pro or any one of those professional tools that you use. So we really, really, really appreciate every dollar that people spend with Topspin. It helps us keep doing what we do. So I hope that price works for you guys, and that you guys think it's fair, and it does what we're trying to make it do, which is enable your businesses. So let us know.
Got a question about it?
Yeah. He's asking, how are things handled on the renewal? That's a good question, actually. I'm actually not sure. I have to get back to you on that. Why don't you ask that in the forums? I believe that's Chandler. Why don't you ask that in the forums, and we'll get back to you as quick as we can, because I'm not exactly sure how Bob has that set up. All right. Any other questions on the label pricing? Cool. Any other questions in general? Questions about what's going on with Topspin, anywhere else? There's a really interesting thread in the forums right now about artists making a living with direct-to-consumer. I haven't had a chance to respond to it yet, just because I haven't had time. But I'm going to, and I would love to. I'm going to try to have a conversation with the person who asked the question over Skype if they'll do it. I think it'd be a really fun thing to post up. So take a look at that if you have a moment, and that's something that you can look forward to in the future. How's the email revamp coming along? It's actually going really well. I was looking at the designs for it 2 days ago, and it looks great. So Adam Boz, who you met a couple webcasts ago, and Luca are actively working on it, and it looks good. I think you guys are going to be happy with it. It's going to take us some time to get it down, but it's good. Yeah, I'm adult now. Thanks for contributing to that thread, and I'm going to contribute as well. I have some really specific thoughts, and the problem is I could spend half a day writing about it, and I don't have half a day, so I got to try to figure out how to distill my thoughts. That's why I thought if I could have a 20 or 30-minute conversation with the person who started that thread, that it would probably be a good way to get it answered in an interactive way, not in a internet flame war kind of way, if you know what I'm saying. So cool. All right. Well, I wanted to go through some some new releases. You have them up there. Throw them out at me. I actually don't have them in front of me, and there's a delay here on the webcast. So. Yes. I hope y'all are paying attention to what's going on with the Beastie Boys. If you know much about me, you probably know that that's a band that is really close to my heart personally. It's how I even started working in the music business at all. I started working with the Beastie Boys in 1993. I actually built their website as a fan in 1993, and late in the year, or maybe early in 94, they called me up, and I've been working with them ever since. Honestly, when I moved to Los Angeles in 1995, they were the only people that I knew, and I lived with them, and I can't even tell you how thankful I am for how good they've been to me over the years. They have a new record coming out, finally. The story with this record, quickly, just in case anybody's interested, is they actually finished this record 2 years ago. Maybe finished isn't the right word, but they had 32 songs that they'd made. And when we started selling Beastie Boys box sets, I believe it was January or February of 2009, the plan was that those box sets were going to start the promotional rollout of the new record. The idea was to get these great albums out there. It was an anniversary of Paul's Boutique, one of my favorite Beastie Boys records, and we wanted to give people this really special experience around these records. And hopefully in the process we would remind them of why they love this band in advance of this new record coming out. The band booked a bunch of festivals all summer. They were doing all the big festivals: Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza, Outside Lands, etc. They had them all lined up. It was a really great thing. I went to the Bonnaroo show, and it's incredible. You're standing there. There's somewhere between 60 and 80,000 people in the audience in front of you, and everybody is just remembering why this band has been so special to them for the last almost 25 years now. But then, unfortunately, Adam Yauch announced on YouTube, which in itself was a really kind of bold move, that he had cancer, and the shows got canceled, the album got postponed, and he went and had surgery and treatment for his cancer. Now, 2 years later, Adam is doing much better. He has he made this video, which hopefully you've seen or are about to see, which I'll talk about in a second. The album, they actually went back into the studio and took those 32 songs and pulled them down to just a few songs, 10, 11, 12 songs, and reworked them with a producer. And I'm not sure if it's public who the producer is, so I'm gonna leave that out. I'll let them announce that if it hasn't already been announced. But super exciting, really good record, and they really went to a lot of pains to take this massive group of songs and turn them into an incredible core of songs. So then they had this crazy idea about this video and having young Beastie Boys, old Beastie Boys. I have to say, when I saw the treatment, when Yauch sent me the treatment, I was reading it on a plane. I wrote the note back and I was like, okay, this is genius, but come on, man, there's no way you're actually going to do this. You're not actually going to end the video with cops getting peed on, right? And that's, never underestimate the Beastie Boys. That's sort of the moral to the story. So anyway, what they've done is, first they released a trailer. The trailer got a couple million views on YouTube. Now they've released the music video. Music video went up at 3 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, and then the full 30-minute version of the video has been airing on MTV. So they've got a ton of promotion with Viacom. Viacom has a bit of an exclusive on the video for a few days here, and it's showing on VH1, MTV, MTV2, Spike TV, Palladia, etc. So they're really doing the full-on media blitz with both the 5-minute version of the video as well as the 30-minute version of the video. You can buy the video as part of the deluxe package. The video will also be available as part of the iTunes download. So you're kind of seeing the way they put this whole campaign together to kind of use this big long video asset. And then we will be running the video on BeastieBoys.com in a week's time. Additionally, there's something going on tomorrow morning, and I have to be honest, I don't even know what it is. Go back to the top of the page there. They've got 10:35 a.m. tomorrow. Something happens. I probably won't even see it because I'm going to be at the skate park in Palm Springs. But it's worth tuning in. So definitely check it out. And also check out the box sets. I have to say I've been surprised with the sales. We actually sold out of vinyl. If you notice the note on the site that says your vinyl's not going to ship until July, we had to get more vinyl, which is totally surprising to me. That's it. So Beastie Boys stuff going off, and it's super super fun to watch. Next,
DJ Quick.
Quick is the name. So I don't know if y'all are fans of the classic hip hop, but Quick is definitely up there for me as one of my favorite MCs from the early '90s for me. But Quick's new record you can get at his Quick eMart. So if you search Quick eMart, you'll find it.
Or you can go to djquickmusic.com/shop.
Oh, there you go, djquickmusic.com/shop. So anyway, wow, nice work, Parker. Parker got the embed working. Sorry, DJ Quick. So go check out the new DJ Quick if you haven't already.
Nope.
The best.
Some Widespread.
Widespread Panic has been doing something really interesting. I'm not sure if you guys saw the announcement this week, but we've partnered with a company who does incredible HD video shoots. Remember, Topspin is not only about audio. We do a lot of video, both in the film world as well as in the music world. And this is, you've got some live recordings and video from Widespread that you can get. So if you're interested in Widespread Panic or just interested in seeing how this works, come check it out. It's a great way to do it. If you work with artists who are interested in doing this, please reach out to us and we'll connect you with the company that does the live HD, and hopefully it might be something that is a good asset to build up for your group. Widespread has been really successful with these campaigns for these live recordings, and they're beautiful and great things for the fans to have. So go grab that, check it out, and think about it as something that you can do for your artists as well.
How about some Gomez?
New Gomez. Any Gomez fans in the house?
Right here.
Gomez is a great band. It was actually my wife who turned me on to them a whole long time ago. So you can order the new Gomez record now. I'm in Dalton. I was asking if you can drop URLs in there for that. Maybe we can.
Yeah, of course.
We can drop them in the chat room. Thanks. Chandler's got it. Yeah, Chandler, can we delegate that to you? This is GomezTheBand.com is the Gomez one. We'll drop them in there. Thanks, homie.
Yeah. Say them too for people who go and watch these later and can't see the chats.
Oh, yes.
Say them too.
Yes, so widespreadpanic.com/panicvideo, GomezTheBand.com.
Mm-hmm.
What was what we said? We said
it was DJ Quick Music, and that's Quick with a K.
DJ Quick Music, QUIK.
.com/shop.
Music.com/shop. There
and
you go.
Of course, BeastieBoys.com.
BeastieBoys.com. Awesome, thank you.
So yeah, Gomez. Just scrolling through the offer, all kinds of cool stuff. White vinyl.
Nice.
Yeah. How about Malajube?
Malajube. Another one to check out. That's MALAJUBE.com. another good offer this week that's been a really successful one.
They got cassettes.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I know you've got a Toyota Camry with a cassette deck. This is perfect for you, right? Who needs a car with Pandora in the dash? All right, so let's talk about this for just 1 second. What was the first car? What was the first car you had?
It was a 1993 Acura Legend. I inherited from my father.
And what did it have in the dash?
It had a tape deck.
Tape deck.
But this was in the age of CDs, so I had to get one of those tape converters for my Discman.
Yeah.
Get it up in
Does your
there.
Discman skip, like on bumps?
It's pretty flat in Houston, Texas. Not too many bumps.
All right. Wow. Yeah, my first car was a 1960 Jeep Willys Suburban delivery truck, and it only had a stereo at all. So I carried a jam box with me that was for sure cassette. Speaking of the Beastie Boys, I used to have Yauk's Cadillac parked in my driveway, and he had redone this Cadillac circa 1989. So it had an 8-track tape that was like the original. It was like a 72 or 73 Fleetwood. So that I had the 8-track tape, and he had one 8-track in the glove compartment. I remember it was The Best of Bread.
Yeah.
But he had revamped this Cadillac like in Paul's Boutique days. So it had an Alpine system in it with a DAT player. It had an in-dash DAT player.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eight-track in that.
Sold that car to Travis Barker, who collects Cadillacs. Awesome. But then I had.
I thought you were gonna say Travis Barker collects bread 8-tracks.
That he might. But so there was, I guess, so I was just thinking, 8 tracks in dash. You had the cassette player. You had DAT. Few people probably had a DAT player in their car. I've definitely seen photos of turntables in cars. Terrible idea, but definitely someone did it to do it. And then I remember the very first CD players, obviously, then CD changers. And I remember the very first MP3 players, like in the late 90s. There were a couple of companies that had these like hard drive under the seat with a controller up top. But then my first MP3 player in the car, I think Kenwood made it. I lived in Topanga at the time, so this would have been a circa like 1999. Yeah, maybe 2000. But Kenwood made an in-dash CD player which would play CDs that had MP3s burned on them. And that was a brand new thing. So that was the end of the 90s was the very first time. And obviously there's two things I'll mention. When I was at Nullsoft, Justin Frankel had this idea that he posted on the website, and he was like, here's a free idea. I'm not going to do this. Somebody should do this. Like you said, the old CD adapters were cassettes with a wire coming out of them that basically you plugged into your CD player. So it was a stereo mini plug into this cassette you plug in the deck. Justin had the idea like, well, okay, if you can turn that analog signal into, just sort of feed that through the cassette deck, what you need is to make an MP3 player that's shaped like a cassette. And then you just put that in your cassette deck, and it will play the MP3s directly in. Mm-hmm. So somebody did finally make that. I can't remember who that was. But then, of course, somebody got the bright idea that, why don't you just build the player with a stereo mini plug-in, and that changed everything. Wow, you've got a '94 Volvo with that Kenwood deck. Does the faceplate pop off? That's how you knew. The faceplate of mine popped off. So anyway, that was also the genesis of the idea. The guys who made that cassette thing admitted, not that it was an admission, but they said publicly that they got the idea from Justin's blog when Justin said, here, I have an idea for you. So anyway, but if you want to go back to the cassette, you can go to malajube.com and grab your Malajube cassette. I actually the last cassette I bought was at a Torch show. You guys know the band Torch? It's one of my favorite bands, period, Torche. But Torch made an incredible record called Neanderthal, and then they released the demos for Neanderthal on cassette. And I bought it for $5 at a show, and I still haven't played it because I don't have a cassette player. So I have this cassette that it's demos of one of my favorite records, and to this day I've never heard it. So.
But you have it.
I do have it.
We've got a few things left. We've got, let's see, talk about some events or some releases. We have Great Escape. We got Big Four Festival music.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so there's a few events coming up that that we're going to be at, and if you guys are proximate, you should come. One of them is Rethink Music in Boston. My daughter goes to college in Boston, so pretty much I'll take any invite to Boston that I get. It's just a fact. You know, I try to get out there at least once a semester. She's only got one more year of undergrad, so who knows what will happen after. But the Midem folks and the Berkeley folks are putting on what really looks like a great conference. If you go to the rethink-music.com, check it out. It is not your average conference. I would recommend it. A bunch of good music. I'm going to see, check this out, Monday night at the same time, they have Metric playing acoustic. And at the same time, John Patitucci, Wayne Shorter, Terry Lynn Carrington, all playing at Berkeley. So I'm really, honestly, I know Zoe's going to want to go see Metric, so we're probably going to go over to that first, but then I'm going to try to get, I've never seen Wayne Shorter. Terry Lynn Carrington on drums. She plays drums on John Scofield's Flat Out, one of my favorite records of that era, probably my very favorite record of that era, that sort of, when fusion was becoming a little less fusion in the late 80s. The first kind of non-fusion record that Scofield did. She smokes, man. I really want to see that show. So that's all out of Rethink Music. Plus, like, take a look at the lineup. It's a really great panel, a really great set of panels. So come on out. I have a panel on Wednesday afternoon. Also, you know, just seeing a bunch of folks doing a ton of meetings. So if you're gonna be in Boston, give me a shout. Week after that is Muse Expo here in LA. Not sure if you're familiar with Muse Expo, but Sat Beasla puts on Muse Expo. Sat runs A&R Worldwide. Great guy, really good guy to know, especially for unsigned artists. Sat has made his life's work getting unsigned artists to the people who can help them. So if you don't know about Muse Expo and A&R Worldwide, I mean, this really is, you know, kind of the conference, as far as I know. You guys know different. For how do artists get exposed and move up the value chain in the music business. So I'm actually not speaking on a panel, which I'm thankful for. I'm helping Sat out by moderating a panel of some really great folks on Monday, or I think around 11 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully you can come out to that. And then...
That website, by the way, museexpo.net.
museexpo.net. There you go. Check that out. Then the week after that is... I think it's the week after that.
Great Escape? Or
Yeah, I think it's the week after that. Great Escape. Great Escape is in the UK, and I'm going to be there. It's going to be a really fun week. I'll be there with Shamal. And there's someone in the chat from London. Are you going to be out there? This is, you know, again, a ton of great music. You know, a lot of great panels. People primarily talking about the new music business. You know, it's if you are in the UK or anywhere in Europe, please come out to Brighton and check this out and come say what's up.
And that is escapegreat.com.
Yeah, escapegreat.com. That's that. And then tomorrow, is my brother here yet? No. My brother flew in from Indiana, and we are taking Brian Frank, and we are going to, really Brian Frank's taking us, and we are going to the Big Four Festival. So I skipped Coachella. I'm not going to make it to Stagecoach, but I am going to make it to Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica. I'm stoked. You know, it's the only time they're doing it in the U.S. And if you grew up listening to this, like I did, you know, you should come. Just come. It's tomorrow afternoon. There's still tickets, I guess, because I see billboards for it around L.A. Thebig4festival.com. That's the big numeral 4 festival.com. I have no affiliation to it. I paid for my tickets. I'm going just to rock. Another thing I wanted to mention, we had, he's asking how can that not sell out? You know how it cannot sell out? Because it's at the same grounds where Coachella is. So Coachella is what? How many bands are at Coachella? 60?
At least.
Yeah, so it's the same field as Coachella, and it's 4 bands on one stage. So I think they'll probably sell as many as 80,000 tickets to that thing, and who knows where they're at now. But I'll try to find out. Actually, I'm curious what they're going to sell, but especially since it's the only place they're doing it in the U.S. You probably got people traveling from all over the place. My brother flew in from Indiana to go to this thing. So anyway, yeah, respect The Rock, ladies and gentlemen. Don't front. All right. So another thing I wanted to mention before we wrap up. There was an outage yesterday. So we actually had 2 bugs in the past 24 hours I want to talk about. One of them, I don't know if you guys have followed this, but Amazon had a major outage on their web services yesterday. It's still going on, interestingly enough. So, look, if you're a startup in the last 3 years and you're not using Amazon Web Services, you're kind of blowing it. It's the most economical way to bootstrap and get some really good hosting at a really great price and scale your costs with the scale of your business. We actually don't use Amazon Web Services that extensively. I wish we used it more. Maybe if not Amazon, Rackspace, or one of these other similar cloud-based hosting environments, because it's a great economical way to do it. We actually, started leasing servers more than 4 years ago now, so we're a little early on that. It wasn't as viable as it is today when we started, so we're not quite there. But one of our partners, Awesome, the URL shortener and analytics company, social media analytics, awe.sm, they do use Amazon Web Services, and they were impacted yesterday, which impacted some of our services that use their services. So again, we were impacted because Amazon went down. Awesome uses Amazon. We use Awesome. You guy at the wrap up this morning, their services, Awesome services are totally live again, but they had to completely move their servers over the past 24 hours away from this particular impacted cluster. Bunch of things online were dead yesterday. Hootsuite, Foursquare, I'm trying to remember, Reddit, a ton of companies that use Quora. Yeah, not teeny things that use these Amazon Web Services extensively. So if you experienced any problems yesterday, that's what it was due to. Should be fully back now. We also had some problems with checkout this morning. We added 2 servers to our server farm last night, and two of them weren't, and these 2 servers were not configured properly. So we had an error on checkout. We removed those servers from the mix this morning, and it went away. It should have impacted a relatively small number of customers, but I definitely wanted to let people know about it. As soon as we found out about it, we fixed it within about 10 minutes. But I wanted to let you guys know we're always on top of that sort of thing. And if you ever have an issue, please, send it in immediately so we can jump on it. About.me was down too, huh? Interesting. So yeah, it was crazy. The interesting thing is that it's been down for so long, and it's exactly the kind of thing that Amazon said could not happen. Right? Amazon, was public about the fact that something like this could never go wrong. But you've got a lot of startups relying on Amazon Web Services at this point, so they've become a bit of a single point of failure for a certain profile of company. Pretty interesting thing. So that's really all I have for today's webcast. I don't need to keep you guys any longer unless you have questions for me that I haven't answered.
Don't see any more questions. One last call for general questions. Anybody? Bueller?
All right. Thanks everybody for caring about what we do, for tuning in, for paying attention, for asking questions. Please, you can always hit us on Twitter. We're at Topspin Media. You can hit me on Twitter. I'm at ENCR. Best place to reach as many people in the company as possible is to go to community.topspin.net and post something there, because we all see it, and we actually have people whose job it is to make sure that questions in there get answered. Please join us every Friday at 11 Pacific for this webcast. Also, we put them up on YouTube afterwards. We put them in the forums afterwards. We really want to be sure that you guys are never without a direct connection to us. We try to be as available as we have time to be. Also, Brad does a demo every single Tuesday. If you go to, topspinmedia.com/demo?
If it's not that, you can go to topspinmedia.com and then in the footer see watch a demo.
And if you have people,
it is /demo.
so topspinmedia.com/demo. If you have people that you want to turn on to Topspin, but they go, what is it? How does it work? You can send them there, and they will get a very good demo. They can ask questions, live in the in that WebEx, and that's a good way to get people turned on to Topspin. So, thanks very much. Thanks everybody for the love. We really, 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 really appreciate it. Peace. Have a good weekend. Slayer.